Hey guys, so what's up? My name is Tepo Makwaba, but you can call me the Mad Guy T. So please don't forget, in this channel we subscribe, we like, we comment, and we definitely share. So today's video has actually been long overdue, kind of, because I've wanted to shoot it for such a long time, but I just didn't have the time and space to do it because the transition from internship to ComServe has been a lot. I feel like I've been thrown into the deep end. I feel like my responsibilities as a doctor have just increased, but I wanted to do an internship wrapped, but of second year internship. I feel like I have shot a video on my internship experience, and because I shot the video in the middle of second year of internship, I feel like most of the content there was mostly a reflection of my first year internship. And then guys, for everyone who's doing first year of internship this year in South Africa, those 4 rotations that we do in first year, oh my goodness, you are going to work. like those ones, you are definitely going to work. They keep you very, very busy, and I found a second year of internship to be a kind of a soft landing. I don't know for most people, but for me, I had the best internship experience, and I really, really enjoyed it. For me, I feel like definitely I got to grow as a person. I got to grow as a doctor, transitioning from a student to a doctor. As an intern, you don't really get to do a lot because you're always looking under supervision, but I found that if you put yourself out there and then you really work and then you avail yourself and then you allow yourself and then you give yourself opportunities to grow as an individual and then you put yourself out there, there's always opportunities for you to learn, to grow as an individual. So for those of you maybe who don't know me, I'm going to give you a little bit of history. It's just a very short history. So I did my internship at in Gauteng, in Pretoria, at a tertiary institution, and the hospital was quite big. We were a very big internship group. Our group, I think we were 8 interns, so it was great. It's always great to have numbers, because even when we split into the different rotations, there's always more hands. More hands means that the workload also gets shared between the different people, so that makes the work also a bit easier. So the 4 rotations, no, what the 4 is, the 4 rotations that I did in second year of internship, I started the year with anesthesiology. I did it for 2 months, January and Feb, and I had 2 months of orthopedics, and then I had 2 months of psychiatry, and I've got 6 months of primary health care, family medicine. Oh my goodness. But I'm going to speak about each rotation. For me, I'll give it a rating, and I'll say what worked and then what I found didn't work, and how was the workload and how I experienced it, and then also maybe funny things that happened during that specific rotation, the things that stood out for me, and then we can maybe just all laugh and reflect together. And yeah, so a little bit of let's get into it. So I'm gonna start with the first year of internship, just towards the end of it. So I was doing trauma the last 3 months of the year in 2023. I was in trauma, guys. I was in trauma in December, so you can imagine the workload, you can imagine the intensity, you can imagine how busy EC was. So for me, and I enjoyed it so much. So I went from trauma and then I started the year with anesthesia. Wow, I've always loved anesthesia. I fell in love with it for the first time when I did it in 5th year of medical school, and during that time I think it was showing me flames because there was so much to study in such a little time. And then when I did the practical of it, oh my goodness, then I really fell in love with it. It just fascinated me how everything just worked, the physiology, how you give drugs and then they work immediately. For me, I just enjoyed it. I could see myself do the work and for a living, and I was like, I could do this. And for me, really enjoyed it. The teachings, great teaching. So I really was blessed to work with amazing registrars. who allowed us the opportunity to learn, to do things, to practice our skills also. And the thing about anesthesia is very different from the other rotation in that it is now one-on-one. It's literally you and your registrar in theater, and because we would move around the different theaters so much, you would meet the different registrars, some great, some not so good. You know, in life you have to have that balance in terms of people and stuff. So yeah, that was happening. But for me, overall, I gave it like a 9.5 out of 10. So I'm just maybe very strict. I would give it 10 out of 10, but it really worked. What were the highlights for me? Definitely, I would say that the fact that you don't have clinic. Number one, guys, the lines at the clinic terrified me. So for me, the fact that the patients don't belong to you, well, we do love the patients, but you send them back. The patient, you see them before their operations, you see them during the operations, and then you see them in recovery, and then they go back to their sessions. So for me, enjoyed that, loved that. But I came just from trauma surgery. It was very different being on the other side, in that sometimes the surgeons want to bring very unstable patients to theater, and then you have to now be the bad guy and tell them, no, we are not going to do this case because the tests are not done. Sometimes you feel like the consent was not signed, or maybe you ask the patient about the consent and then you find out they don't really know what they signed for. And then you're like, maybe they did explain it to them, but sometimes patients, you know, they will say things that were not done, but you're like, but you maybe not understand. When you explore, you realize, okay, maybe there was a language barrier of some sort. For me, what I didn't enjoy also, pre-meds. Pre-meds are great. You get to see the patient, but going to do pre-meds at 3:30, no, I know, because sometimes you would leave late. The latest I have left was 6 o'clock, because Ortho was very ambitious. They booked a very full slate. They even had reserves patients on their slate, so we have to go and see as many as possible. And then you would realize that but not everyone gets operated on. But now the thing that is not exciting is the fact that the patients now would also be angry to say, but they've been stabbing me for so many days and stuff. But you're like, it's not my fault, it's your surgeons, they are overbooking the slate. So we had that. We're like, okay, cool. The patients get upset at us, but for me, the pre-meds, even though I enjoyed them, I just didn't enjoy the fact that sometimes they made you leave late. And also, sometimes you have to go in on Sunday because the slate came out late on Friday. You had already gone home, and then you need to do pre-meds because the Monday slate needs to be done, and you need to see the patients beforehand. Because anesthesia, that's all that we like. It's the most important thing. You need to do pre-meds. You need to see your patients beforehand, and then. Yeah, and also another fun fact, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but my seniors used to say they found me to be very, my luck in terms of cases was very chaotic, in that all the emergencies would find themselves in theaters that I was in. Like when we would do calls, those calls would be the ones where we are really running, we are really resuscitating and stuff. And remember, as a surgeon, surgeons don't say this. They might call anesthesiologists, machine operators, and all of that. But in all honesty, you want your anesthetist to be sitting down during the operation. So the fact that we would have to run, we would have to resuscitate, the patients would be on adrenaline infusions. Like, you know, you get to learn, you get to really do a lot, but those moments, quite nerve-wracking. Would I do it again? Over and over again. I feel like I just love a bit of adrenaline rush. I just love a bit of chaos, the running to blood bank to get the blast coming back and all of that. I enjoy that. I was like, I could do this, because anesthesia has like two extremities. It's either very calm or very chaotic, because the drugs that we give, they react, like the patients have that immediate effect, and then you get to really see them work. So for me, I definitely would go back. So I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm so sorry. I don't want to talk too much about it because I will go on and on and on because I just love the block. And then the second rotations, March to April, I did orthopedics. Orthopedics for me was a very pleasant surprise. I must admit, it surprised me. Why am I saying that? I went to the rotation not really expecting much to happen. I was there, I was like, it's just gonna be vibes for 2 months. Didn't enjoy it in undergrad. I'm just not the person who loves labor intensive work, and I was like, I'm just gonna do my time. But the team that I had, amazing registrars. They were quite funny as well. They jokes sometimes. Wow. They like day one they told me that this is how they cope. Their jokes are very sometimes not the best. So I must just ignore them. It's fun if I wear my headset when they're making their jokes, but I actually enjoyed their humor, dark humor sometimes. So it was a very pleasant surprise. But in terms of ortho, I had one incident whereby I wanted to fight somebody. So maybe I should do a separate story time on this. So I had back-to-back calls. My first ortho calls actually, because it was during Easter time. We had Easter last year in March, so I had my calls very close to each other. So my first call was on a Friday, and I had a post call on Saturday. Then I had the next call on Sunday. So, the first 2 registrars that I was on call with on Friday, they told me that they were very busy in theater. Did they not leave me to manage casualty patients by myself the entire night? You can imagine, I'm like, I don't even like this rotation. This is my first week here. Like, what am I supposed to do? And then sometimes, like, although you need hands, you need somebody, like, you can't reduce fractures by yourself. Those dislocations, sometimes you need assistance. And the fact that they were not there, and I had to like leave casualty at some point to rush to theater, and then I didn't find them there. I was like, where the hell are these people? I'm trying to call them, they're not answering their phones. And I was like, this is not what I signed up for. And can you imagine, the Friday I was so frustrated. The Saturday came, I went home. They frustrated me even more during the post intake, and then I had to come back on Sunday, and I was like, I am going to quit. But after that, after I got used to the work, I got used to how things are done. I didn't mind doing calls alone in casualty while they were either in theater operating or maybe in their little call room sleeping. I was like, okay, it is what it is. We are doing this. I was shown once how to reduce a dislocation because I had ever done it also again in med school. And then I was not very confident about it. Got shown once, like, listen, all the other ones I could diagnose them on the X. I could see them, I could pop them back inside, and then not even need them to come back because it's like, we can do this. But for me, the working hours in ortho, great. I enjoyed that. The fact that they don't fuss around long ward rounds, many investigations. Sometimes I even felt like orthos just wanted an x-ray and then they could see which bone is broken and try to fix it. A lot of the other tests, they would do them because the anesthetist need them. Like for example, your bloods, they will do bloods once a week. And then the chest x-rays, the ECGs, they would only be done because the anesthetist wants it. For them, they just want to go and fix the bone. So the hours were great. We got to leave very early. But yeah, it was quite surprised. Out of 10, I gave it an 8. I was like, yeah, it's a good 8. It's a very solid 8. Would I do it? No, I just don't think it's for me. Although it's one of those, it's either it's for you or it's not for you. There's no in-betweens, and I just feel like for me, no. Do I think I could, if I had no choice, I had to do it? Yeah, maybe, but willingly? No, definitely not my cup of tea. But all the best to the other bros, all the best to them looking at ECGs, all the best to them trying to go and operate on patients with asystoles because they just want to fix the bones. So yeah, all the best to the other bros. We are rooting for them. My next rotation, I did psychiatry. Psychiatry, also another one that actually surprised me quite a lot. So I've always found psychiatry to be quite easy. It's not an easy module, it's not an easy subject. It just came easy for me. So in med school, I had to, those rotations that I knew that I was going to do very well in them because I just absorbed the knowledge quite easily. And psychiatry, obstetrics and gynae were those rotations for me. So went into psychiatry. Psychiatry was very different. I feel like for the most part of internship, I had spent most of my time learning the hard skills, learning how to do procedures, and then in psych I learned a lot of soft skills. I got to learn to sit and listen. I got to learn to afford my patients some space to express themselves, and yeah, because sometimes you'd find that patients that just need people to listen to them, to help them navigate their thoughts, to help them navigate their experiences, to hold safe spaces for them. And then also, it was quite different actually. The fact that we worked so well as a team as well. Some of my colleagues didn't really enjoy it. They were like, I just need to do my time here and leave. And for me, I really, one thing that also very stood out for me was the fact that I really like my consultant. I found her to have been, she was good, man. She was also very good with the students. She was also, she taught them a lot as well. And we also got to sit and also listen. And the mind is very intriguing and you get to really learn a lot. So I really enjoyed psychiatry. But all, like, most patients had the same drugs. Especially the ones that you see in casualty, that they come, they are screaming, they are swearing at you. And you know what's funny? You know when patients come and then they are having these episodes and then they are doing all these things, like when you reflect with them and you ask them about some of the things that they were doing, maybe let's say a week or two later, sometimes they are so embarrassed because they're like, what, I did that? So you like, sometimes like, are they thought blocking that, or are they sometimes you can tell when sometimes patients would also deny things. So they're like, no, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I didn't do that, I could never ever do that, that is not me. And then why are these people saying this? And you're like, really? It was quite fascinating. It was quite fascinating. Sometimes you see when you do the mental state exams of patients, or maybe when you are interviewing patients, you can see when somebody has cooked up a story for you and then they are giving you the perfect answers. Or maybe sometimes the patient's mood is just too elevated. So you're like, okay, we don't want you to be sad, but we can't also discharge you when you are this happy. So it was very fascinating. Would I do psychiatry? Definitely I would. I would descend back to psych. I would be the happiest person alive, because psych patients, like, don't die. They shouldn't die. Like, mental health care users should not die. Ne? So yeah, definitely I would do psychiatry. Yeah, really enjoyed it. The best, one of the best. So I had a couple of best, so psychiatry was one of them. For me, if you were to ask me asleep, you would ask me which rotations did you during internship, I will tell you that it was psychiatry, it was trauma, it was anesthesia. Definitely enjoy them. And the calls in psych, the best calls. Like, you could rest, hey? You could rest. Like, psychiatry doesn't have like emergencies at 2 a.m. Like, no, we like things get attended to when we should. Like, patients have times whereby they get their medications and they are sleeping. So like, you don't start your, like, the rounds are not even by the bedside. We all sit around in an office and then the patients come in. So you see, for me, psych, definitely I would do it over and over again. Yeah. So now the last one, 6 months rotation. Oh my goodness, it was so long. I don't know, I feel like I had 1 year 6 months of internship. Everything was great, everything was going so well. Then I had the last 6 months of primary health care, family medicine, and I just wanted to shoot myself. I just literally wanted to shoot myself, because most of the time I would be like, what is going on? What's happening here? Like, what are we doing? I just didn't enjoy primary healthcare. I was very disappointed in that, because one of the reasons why I went to Stellenbosch University, because I really believed in the rural school, and I really believed in primary healthcare. I really believed in quality improvement projects. I really believed in preventing diseases, but I got to FEMAD and none of that was happening in internship. It was very disappointing, and the issue, like, I found some people, seniors, I found that the work ethic was not really the greatest work ethic. Like, you'd find your seniors coming to work late, leaving work early when the clinics are busy, and you're like, patients don't really deserve that. Patients don't really deserve any of that. They should come to work and they should find us. We should be there. We should be ready to serve. But other than that, learning and growing, got to really grow as an individual, got to really do a lot as well, and you really get to experience the health system at its, what's the word can I use, at its best worst. Yes, because a lot of the times you'd find that there are a lot of barriers to healthcare, and the patients often are the ones who are suffering, because you try to refer a patient, sometimes the transport delays, sometimes maybe they're referring hospital, the hospital you are referring to is full, sometimes now you are stuck with patients in the clinics because you don't have, like, for example, a blood gas. You want to do this test but you don't have the resources, and then it's quite overwhelming. So wow, found that we have a long way to go, and then there's still a lot to do. There were it was not all bad as a rotation. There were moments where I felt like, okay, we are doing this, we are helping people, we are bits by bits, we are doing our best. And for most of the time, that's what you need to really show up and do what you need to do. And yeah, our patients deserve that. They deserve us to really work with them and try our best. In a failing system, we have to show up. Someone has to do it. The calls, didn't mind the academic hospital call, like the academic hospital calls. A lot could be said about the seniors there, but that is not my place. It's just between them and their employers and stuff. Mine was just to be there and just to work, and that's all I did. But the calls at the district, wow, those ones kept us very busy. They really kept us very busy. But you know what, I always say that calls, when they are busy, you get to learn. For me, what helped me, like what helped me survive internship and everything, was just literally attitude. If you have a positive attitude, you're gonna go very far in life. A lot of things won't faze you, a lot of things won't scare you. You will walk into rooms with a good attitude, and then your willingness to learn and work with other people, and that will help you. Just remember that this is a job, you are getting paid to do it, and it's a privilege and honor as well to work with people at their most vulnerable states. They come to you with their stories, very, very vulnerable. It's not very easy to share some of the stories with you as their practitioner, but they do, because they are there for you to assist them. And yeah, that's all I can say. Internship, the best and the worst times of your life, but the 2 years do go by. Get to the other side, you'll see. Well, now I'm like, wow, during internship I didn't have a lot of responsibilities, but now I feel like my responsibilities are going up and up and up. I don't have as discussed with anymore. It's discussed with me, and I have to make a plan. As a senior, I have to make sure that those plans are being carried out. I need to make sure that I follow up with my patient. I have to make sure that I need to call the referring hospitals and be like, doc, this is what I have. The hospitals are calling me to say, doc, this is what I have, can we send to your side? It's growing up, it's tough, but we have to do it. But for me, I feel like I've been talking forever and ever and ever. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a massive thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribing is the best one. But until we meet again, take care of yourself. Let's leave black hearts to say goodbye to internship. But anyway, thank you so much. Don't forget to watch the ads. We have ads rolling up now because we have monetized. If you see an ad rolling, please don't forget to watch it. Just to watch it. I know I'm saying this at the end of the video, but anyway, hope you guys are fine. I'll see you guys soon, and do meet me on TikTok as well. It's at the MedGuyT on TikTok. I will be sharing some content. I'm going to TikTok, guys. My TikTok is going to be quite new, so please do support. And yeah, subscribe, also follow. I'll definitely follow you back. Thank you. Until we meet again, bye.